morning, everybody. Welcome to Societal Deconstruction Podcast, SDP. We're on episode number 17. Male plus female equals human. Happy Valentine's Day to y'all out there. To all you romantic people still out there, if there are any of you left. What do you think? My guest today is Scott. Scott or Scotty? Scott. My guest today is Scott. He's a friend of mine and a former coworker at Revival. And welcome, Scott.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this podcast.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
At SDP, Societal Deconstruction Podcast.
Boom.
Now, are you still a romantic person? Do you believe in Valentine's Day?
I actually do not like Valentine's Day. I've just not ever really liked it. I want to think I'm a hopeless romantic, but it's never been there and kind of, so no.
It's never been there? Your hopeless romanticness has never panned out very well? Or It doesn't vibe with Valentine's Day?
I mean, my hopeless romanticness doesn't work well. Like, it's never panned out, never done anything. So why not just give up on it?
Oh, that's so sad. You should, well, I think I used to be a hopeless romantic too, and I'm a very cynical bitch at this point in my life. I think I've given up on it completely. I now think that love is a chemical imbalance in your brain.
Yeah, that could very well be because you think you're in love and you're not, or just, I've never had the love at first sight kind of deal. You think that, she's beautiful, she's great, but you go over and talk to her and you're like, no, like, whatever.
See, I don't know if I've had love at first sight, but love at first, week. Like when you start seeing somebody and you have to be together every single second for the first month. You can't even breathe if you're not with them. Have you had that?
I mean, I did back in the day, high school,
when you were
after
younger.
college, way younger. And it's but then it never reciprocates sometimes. And then you've done it so many times, that just gets old.
Yeah.
You just kind of go with the flow. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to call. They don't want to do anything.
Yeah. And you give too much of yourself and then you're disappointed and hurt.
Yeah. And then you're just like, why
bother?
Why did I go through that?
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. I had mine were reciprocated, but why I think it's a chemical imbalance is because when you're in that very first crazy love, it's like you would literally step in front of a bus to save that person.
Yeah, you would do anything.
Anything.
And it's crazy that and then things happen or, just life moves on or whatever. It's just you and then when you don't see it that way, you're open up. You're like, how did I ever see that in that person to do that for? And then I went through all this and they're just, and then... And
you didn't pay attention to any of the red flags.
Yeah, and you think you're in love and do everything they think they are, and then say something happens, you break up, and the next week there was another one. And you're like, how? I don't want to be with anyone, because I'm broken up over this, but they're not. I've never been that way, to put everything into it, to, leave for someone else or something else, or then... it doesn't work out and broken up. I don't look for anything else. I kind of stay broken up because you got to kind of focus on yourself.
Mm-hmm. See, I always went from relationship to relationship.
Yeah, I've never been a bouncer.
I was a bouncer. I think I've been in one long relationship my whole life. If you break them up into, it might as well be. I think I was single for a little bit in my early 20s, and then 1 year, a couple of years ago. It's crazy. But what's your longest relationship?
6, 7 years.
That's long, though. That's long enough. You get the 7-year itch.
Yeah, and it was long. We knew everything about each other. It just didn't work out.
You knew too much about each other.
Fighting over stupid stuff, and it was just dumb and
self-sabotage too.
And you grow apart. It's sad, but it just happens in life. And then same thing. You've been in a relationship, 2 years or 3 years or something. You think it's great, and then just something happens. You just see something, or they see something, and doesn't work.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how it works. It's weird how you can be so all in and so happy together, and then one little thing will just derail it completely. I think people are self-saboteurs as well.
Or overthinking the situation or overthinking a call or text. I had the bartender life where, when you work from 6 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning, sometimes during the day you take naps, you sleep before you go to work, but then you're seeing somebody and they call or text you and you're not answering because you're sleeping. And they lose their minds. And they lose their mind. They're crazy. And then you're just like, hey, I was taking a nap. And it's in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. I work tonight at 6. Like, we're trying to
I think before texting, relationships were easier to maintain.
It was because, I mean, I remember when I first moved to Florida, driving to a 7-Eleven, paying 35 cents to call the girl I was going to see. Are you home? Yeah, I'm home. And she didn't answer. I didn't go crazy because she at work. I don't know where, there's no way to track her, but now with GPS and
God, you put a tracker on her car. You put a tracker on her car and you're not even considered insane.
Yeah.
I would still consider that insane, personally.
I think it's pretty insane when you have to go to that.
And you have to go through their phone?
Yeah, to go to their phone, or they're sleeping and you face recognize them to open it to look through what they're doing. But
oh, that's creepy.
I mean,
people do that?
Yeah, I've had it happen.
Oh my God.
Like, someone comes into a bar I work and they start talking and upset because he fell asleep and left his phone on and his wife used it. But you're the dumbass for texting and doing all that. He's like, why didn't act on it? I'm like, you're sending a girl dick pics or whatever it may be, and the wife does not like. I mean, it's obvious. Like, you can't do that. And it happens more and more now. It's too easy. Like, I mean, I know I've gotten asked somebody to send me, hey, send me a dick pic. I send them a picture of a toothpick, like in my hand.
And just for every male person out there, since we're doing male plus female equals human. For every male out there in this world who listens to this podcast, please never send an unsolicited dick pic. Please, please, please. For all women out there, maybe some women like it, but any woman I've ever talked to says, nope, nope, nope. And I can't stand it. I think it's terrible. Even if you like the person, I don't like it. If I haven't seen it yet, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. If they're not that attractive. I want to see it when I'm like hot and horny and ready to have it. I don't want to just see it in the middle of the day when I'm eating. Right?
Absolutely.
Would you want unsolicited vag pics? Maybe.
No. We're all guys. Someone's going to send me your boobs. I'm going to look at them.
Guys are a little different in that. But.
Yeah. But no, absolutely. Like, I've never been one to be like, you see, or you're on Facebook, you're on date, and you're like, hey, and then picture my dick. And, like, I don't understand, like, how that would work. And, like, and I agree with you.
Yeah, don't lead with your dick.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and when you're in a relationship and you're there, and sometimes during the day, a girl will send you, like, hey, I'm doing this or trying this on for you or something. Oh, that's great. It's
right,
awesome.
Right.
Like,
you've already seen it, you're already good. Like, I like to be surprised a little bit. I don't want to see it in broad daylight on your phone.
Yeah, we don't wear lingerie. We don't, maybe we're at somewhere, we're trying on a new pair of boxers and you're in the dressing room, you send your girl a pic, but you're not like dick out.
Yeah.
Like, you're not trying to, jack off in the fucking dressing room. I mean, that's...
Or like when I first got together with my ex-significant other, like we got together and I had to go to Mexico on a trip I already had booked. And we were like really missing each other. And I think I asked him for one and he sent me one. And that was hot.
But that's different.
Right.
You asked for it.
I definitely asked. I think that's the first one I ever got.
But also, if you're like with him and you've been with him and you're missing him and he just does it without you asking,
that's fine too.
You'd probably be like,
yeah.
I mean, nowadays technology,
it's technology's. That's a whole nother. Well, we did a podcast on the technology of like, your neighbors anymore. Nobody knows their neighbors anymore, unless they're on your phone. No, but when I moved here, it was in 1999, and I had a beeper. And I had to go where I worked. I'd get my little beep. I'd get so excited when I got a beep. Is that what they called it, a beep?
Like a beep, because it was a beeper. It's a beep or vibrate, whatever.
Oh, a vibe.
Yeah.
And then I go to the payphone over on the wall, and if I had to scare up 25 cents, maybe it was 35, don't remember. And I'd make a little phone call, and then, I get a little beep later, and then it would determine where I was going after work. It was exciting.
Yeah, because you had to call it. You had to know, like answering machines at home. Like when people called you, it was important. Like you had to get that.
And then you could write different words on your beeper upside down. They spell things
like
out.
Hello, or just whatever you needed, or you dash 911. Like I need, like this is important. You have to call me.
Yeah, for real.
Find a phone.
So, one thing I was going to ask you. Well, I wanted to read something first. Sorry, I fucked that all up. We'll edit this out. We fucked that up, and I am editing that out.
You give us space so you can edit it. So that's
yeah. It was good. I was going to read this, but it's not on here anymore. Societal Deconstruction Podcast is a podcast that thinks differently. SDP wants to help our listeners think differently. Eventually, the whole world will think differently. Eradicate the hate and shame and stigma against people who are different and want to live life outside the norm of society. People like me and you that have thought past the status quo and the norm. Live your precious life the most sovereign way you can. Don't do what you think you are supposed to do. If it doesn't feel right, then it isn't. Travel, see the world, educate yourself about people, different cultures, different food, different places, etc. Embrace the differences in humanity. We are all creatures of planet Earth. We are all born alone. We all die alone. We are all born naked without the constructs of society. The constructs of society are indoctrinated in us very early on. Once you open your eyes and understand, you will live your life in a completely different, new way. Freeing your mind and discarding the chains of society is so liberating. Just a little background on SDP and how we think and feel. Right, Scott? You feel that way?
I do feel that way.
Absolutely. And once you don't care about what other people think and, trying to live like everybody else, it does free you. It frees up so much.
I mean, literally, I'm 44 now. It probably took me until I was 41, 42 to really not care and just
it took me a while, too.
And do your own thing because you're the only one that matters and what you're doing. Like, there's no...
I went through a lot of my life worrying about that shit.
Yeah, what people think.
It was such a waste of time.
I mean, as long as you're a good person, you do the right thing.
Absolutely. Karma's going to be your answer anyway.
Everyone else thinks?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And a lot of times when you think these people care, they don't give a flying fuck. They don't give a shit. They're not sitting there worrying about you and thinking about what you're doing. They're worrying about themselves, like you're worried about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your own self, your own energy, your own peace, your own everything. Just
absolutely.
If you're not taking care of yourself, like how can you expect to be enriched or take care of someone else? Like
you have to save yourself before you can save others.
Yeah, you got to be content with yourself.
I'm big about
and happy.
that. Yeah.
And you can't bring on because then you just bring them into your boat that's sinking already.
And I don't think I started this journey until I was in my 40s either. I raised my kids for 25 years, and you've got kids, it's a little bit different, and you've got to. I don't know if you have to, but maybe do it for your kids and stick by the societal norms so that they feel normal and you're not, a bunch of freaks. But I honestly think now my kids turned out great and everything. But I wish that I would have bought an RV or a bus and homeschooled them, took them around the country, took them around the world, had a completely different life than everybody else. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So then they get culturally infused with different ways how people live.
Absolutely. They're going to learn way more doing that.
Yeah.
Way more.
I mean, it's they should teach more classes how can I learn about credit or balancing, my checking account? They're like, fuck you and square dance. You know what I mean? And
dude, the fact that you bring up square dancing is crazy.
They'd rather teach that than teaching real life skills about credit, about building, about trying to save.
When they did square dancing when I was in school, I would have left. They would have let me leave school. I would have left school and probably never came back. When they did the square dancing, I thought that was the dumbest thing. I hated it so much. I remember almost crying to my teacher, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. But the way school is a societal construct and they indoctrinate you, you have to do it or your peers will ostracize you and they make you be somebody you're not in school with peer pressure. I remember being in school thinking, this is so fucking stupid. I can't believe these kids are going along with this. And then I would eventually go along with it or they'd all make fun of me or something. It's like, you can't be yourself. They don't want you to be yourself. You were indoctrinated so young in preschool.
And that's, I think, back in the day they did it, and it was so, pre-media, social media day that they could, and they did that. But now it's such social media, and people can just go online and say something about it, and then get a bunch of followers that feel the same way. That's what the cancel culture happened, all that. So now they can do all that, and the teachers can't be that way to build you one way to. This is the way you do it. You go to college, you get married.
So I think we have a lot less of the societal constructs of it, early indoctrination that we did before.
Yeah, because it's basically you can more have a freedom to express yourself.
Because when I was a kid, we didn't have any of that.
And now it's just,
and you either, right?
Yeah, no, not all. It was you did this, you go to this school, you go to this, you play this sport because I did it. Or no, I don't like it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, suck it up. Yeah, suck it up. Pull up your bootstraps.
But now I feel but that helped out with building more character. It's being stronger now. But then now that you got all these,
I think that makes it gives you a stronger constitution. You can get through anything, even the shit that you hate. But it also stops you from being who you are. And if you could have been who you are, who knows what you would have turned out to be.
My choice back then.
Exactly.
And letting them do it.
I'd be out there in a boat taking samples of shark fin stuff. Or just, I'd be a marine biologist. I would have. And that's what I wanted to do. When people asked me when I was a kid what I wanted to do, that's the first thing I ever said. Then I got so pulled away from it. Well, they don't make any money or, that's not realistic or they don't, there's no college around here you can go to for that or, near Buffalo. And, I was finally well, fuck it. That's not going to work. It's too hard. I'll never do it. Now I wish wholeheartedly that's what I would have done. It's the first thing I wanted to do.
And these are your counselors in school, trying to tell you this, but they're already putting these negatives. Oh, you can't do it. You can't do that. You can't do it. You got to do it this way.
Right.
And this way.
Right. It's crazy.
No one else want to do it. But now I think it's more acceptable with social media and access to the internet and everything for them to even research and know more now to even tell them, no, I'm going to do this. And
I think kids these days feel like they can do pretty much whatever they want, as long as they're, getting support. Excuse me.
Yeah. And I've seen some kids that are great in like taekwondo, karate, and everything, but then they're off somewhere and they're just on their phone doing and they get mad if that gets taken away.
The phones,
and
the AI, this world is just so different than.
Yeah. And
do you know what I feel like? Nobody has like integrity anymore. Nothing really matters to anybody anymore. Like your word doesn't matter, your handshake doesn't matter, your doing what you say you're going to do doesn't matter. This is integrity to me,
I mean, that used to be a thing back in the day when you handshook.
It was a thing, like
you had a beer and a handshake. That was it. That was your contract.
And if you went, and you didn't stick to that, you were an asshole. People didn't want to hang out with you. You didn't have friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to be like an up and up person. I felt like it was like that in my school.
Because back then, the word of mouth from people talking, doing all that was more because there was none of this advertising that it doesn't matter. You can't delete.
And if you're not being liked in your school, you can just retweet into your phone, and the whole world likes you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then, but then that leads into like cyberbullying if they do this. It's a whole other topic. So.
Well, and then you have the whole topic of gender, which is a societal construct as well. But part of our title, male or female. And gender, I found out, is a societal construct because gender is basically just the characteristics that are socially constructed, norms, behaviors, and roles of being a woman, man, girl, or boy. Do you identify, Scott, as a man or a woman or somewhere in between?
Man.
Man, okay. Full on man?
Full on man.
Full on man,
Never had any questions about it.
Okay, good. Well, I kind of did when I was a little kid, but I didn't have any siblings. It was just me. And my parents were hippies. We lived in not in the woods, but we lived in a rural area, so when kids next door to play with or whatever.
Right.
So my Uncle Steve and my cousin Eric, and they were, I would have followed them anywhere. I'd want to be just like them. And in the summer they could wear no shirt. They had to do cooler things than me because they were boys. And I think that was my reasoning behind it. But I wanted to be a boy, and I wanted everyone to call me Bud. And I was pregnant with a baby horse, and I would not wear a shirt in the summertime. My mom let me run around with no shirt on. I was like 4, 5, 6. I didn't have boobs or anything. But that was about it. Nobody really they made fun of me, but I didn't care. I was going to be Bud. But then when I was maybe like 6 or so, 6, 7, maybe younger, maybe 6. I don't think it could have gone beyond 6. But I realized I didn't want to be a boy, and I was happy being a girl. And, it wasn't a big deal. But like in this day and age, if you did that, what if your parents were pro letting a kid do that? They could have started giving me testosterone. They could have surgically enhanced me, I'm just glad nobody did that because just to make a point on that when we're talking about genders and stuff, I just don't think that any child should be allowed to make that decision based on my experience as a kid having that situation. And it was just kind of a fad. I just wanted to be like my uncle and my cousin. That was all it was. It was all it was. And kids these days think that it's cool now. And I'm not saying it's not cool. It's just they shouldn't be able to make a decision because, what if Tommy wakes up one day and he's 20 and he has his dick cut off?
Yeah.
What is he going to kill himself? that could lead to some serious problems.
And you were young enough to go through it by yourself and realize, like, you could have chose either way. And your parents might or may not support you. But nowadays, like you said, is 1 year this, Tom, and then you're Tammy. But this is a kid going through his life. It's his life.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
because I was Bud.
Yeah,
I was Bud full on. But they shouldn't be allowed to have any hormones or surgical enhancements or anything until they're 18. I just don't think that.
Because when you're 18, you can join the Army, Air Force, whatever, and you can die for your country.
Yep, you can vote.
You shouldn't be able to change your natural born gender, whatever, until you're 18.
Yeah, because you don't know.
But you may realize at 16 and maybe 18.
You got to wait 2 years. Oh my God.
Who knows? But, yeah, you can change, you cannot. And if you don't and you want to be, that's fine. Now you're a full-on adult going to America.
Right. And if you do want to change your job, nothing wrong with transgender people or anything like that. Yeah. I think you should do what you want to be able to do. I just don't think kids are equipped mentally to make that decision.
Absolutely not. And no parent should force it on you. Like, oh, you want to be Jan? Or you're Jan. I'm me. I don't know.
And I don't think parents necessarily force it, but now parents, you just want to be, you just have to go along with what your kid wants so bad. You can't spank them. You can't. You can't do anything to them anymore. They run your life almost at this point. Yeah.
I mean, I've been spanked with a belt and everything.
Me too. I was spanked with a belt, the wooden spoon.
Middle of a.
Now that gave us character,
middle
Scott.
of a Kmart, middle of a Walmart, whatever. You're acting up. Shut up. Boom. You know.
I don't think I ever spanked my daughter.
I mean,
she didn't need it though.
Soap in the mouth.
I got Windex in my mouth.
Oh, I never had Windex.
Windex, squirt, squirt. I said, Mom, you're gonna kill me.
Yeah, I had to hold the soap like the guy in the Christmas Story. Kid.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Fucking just put it in there and then
motherfucking bumpuses.
And they come out and you're like, oh. And you're like, oh.
And it never stops foaming. The Windex, I couldn't get out of my mouth for like 2 days. It was terrible.
And no matter how hard you cried, like my dad and mom did not care.
I never got the belt.
Like they would leave my room and let me cry for hours.
Oh, me too.
And then they'd come back in, are you done?
And
and that was.
Or if you didn't want to eat your peas.
And then you realize, and I had no Game Boy. I know phones.
I didn't even have Atari.
Games. Yeah, there was no.
Nothing. We didn't have TVs in our room.
Yeah, I didn't have TV in my room. Yeah.
Our TV was black and white until I was like 10.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. We didn't have cable.
And it was 8 o'clock. You're going to bed.
I had the woods.
Yeah.
The woods were my companion.
Yeah. I had a backyard and a dog like running around.
I didn't even have to. Well, I had 2 dogs, and one got hit by a car, and one disappeared. Dogs didn't work real well with me when I was younger, but they are now, right? Ava and Coco? They've been good. They haven't been barking.
That's good.
You know, when I leave, like, I went to Miami last week for 2 days. They go into stasis. They go into stasis when I sleep or when I leave. They just sleep. They don't need food. They don't need to go outside. They can do that for like 24 straight hours and not need anything. They're so in tune to me.
Like my 2 are good like that. One I have to keep in the kennel, which I feel bad, but I have the camera on her and she sleeps the same way. And right when I get there, she's fine. Go outside, poop some peas. Everything's good.
They don't want anything to go on when you're gone.
And they're just like dead. And then of course when I get home bartending, like it's 11 o'clock and I live in an apartment, so downstairs they're playing, but they usually play on my bed, so it's not as bad. But,
where do you walk them?
I mean, we have a big area in our apartment that usually walks dogs, and then we have a separate like dog track.
Do you have to pick up the poop?
Yeah.
Your dogs have big poop, don't they?
They do. And a lot of people, it makes me mad because a lot of people don't pick up their poop plate.
Is your dog's poop steamy?
I've had it when it's cold. I've seen it steamy. Like, you know, but normally and they've been on, now they're on a schedule. It's pretty good. They know when I go to work. They know when I put them in a kennel or put the one in.
Do they have their own kennels?
But they do. But I leave the one that I just adopted still in the kennel because they've been playing a lot better. It took a week or so for them to get adjusted, but now it's been really good. And they're playing good, but I just don't want to be there too. And then I'm not there to like stop them from playing hard and then disrupt the neighbors out there.
Yeah, that's right. Once you're sure of it, though, will you leave both of them out of the kennel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and because I don't believe in it, but I also like it's her safe place now. Even when I get her,
it's good for them, I think.
Because when they first got together, they had a little scuffle over food. So now I feed her in her kennel and Barkley and not, and they fine, and they get out and they're fine, and they're not fighting over treats or anything. So.
And how did you come upon adopting the new one? He saved.
Because I got reached out by a rescue because they didn't want to put her in a rescue because she's been bouncing around from house to house for a month straight, like a week here, a week here. So not like, and just, didn't know what was going on. And it was actually my sister that reached out and said it. And so I met with the lady that had her and she brought her up from South Florida and my dogs met. They kind of hit off right away. And now she's getting settled in. So she has more of a house. Like she knows she's there. She knows the routine.
Aww.
Like before taking her out, like she didn't want to go inside. Like I had to carry her back in because she didn't really know. But now
she's probably afraid to go inside.
Well, now she's comfortable in there. Like when I leave, or I'm there, I'll put the window, like the blinds up, and she'll sit on my bed and just watch outside. Just because, and then she's just free to be a dog.
They're such sweet little creatures.
They are, and she's like a pit mix, but she's so soft and a long tail. So she's mixed with something that I'm gonna.
I wonder what she's mixed with.
I'm gonna have to do that. I think you can do like a 23andMe.
Oh, that's crazy.
Swab their mouth, send it in, they'll tell you the DNA of the dog. Like what it is.
Well, I want to do that because I have a brother out there somewhere. Now, if my brother is listening to this podcast, that'd be great. He was born 5 years younger than me. I mean, he's 5 years older than me. His birthday is the day after mine, January 17th, 1969. Born in Buffalo, was given away to Catholic charities, signed, sealed, and delivered because you can't open those records to save your life. My dad has passed away, and he tried. And as long as the mother hadn't opened up the records, they wouldn't even let my dad in. Just throw away the key, man. So your name was originally Kenneth Koopman, Koopman. If you're out there, get a hold of me.
But this was your dad's kid.
Yeah.
Your mom.
Exactly 5 years.
Mom.
Yeah, it's just my father before my mom, before they got together with me.
Gotcha.
So he's 5 years older than me. You'd be 50, just turned 55 because I just turned 50.
It's just a number.
Yeah. Oh, I don't feel it. I think it's the younger you act, the younger you stay. But
it's easier to act younger nowadays.
I've never really tried to look for him because I wasn't sure what to do. But I'm going to start actively trying and searching, and I'm going to try to pull the birth certificate from Buffalo and stuff because life is short, man. I don't have any siblings other than him.
Yeah, and all my siblings are all female. So it's like my sister and then my cousin. I mean, it's just, it's good having siblings, and I'm content not having kids of my own because my niece and nephew, like, I take care of that. Like,
and, not everybody needs to have kids. They
I
like
dogs are kids.
Yeah.
And I see people not, like, all my friends I graduated, I mean, they're going out to college, they're kids, 18, 19, 20, and that's amazing that they're good, but that, like, growing up, I don't know. I just never been, I guess, the dad type, and I've been the one to babysit my niece and nephew and be the greatest uncle ever.
You'd be a good dad, though.
But
if you got, once you have the kid, they change you, and
it would change. I
didn't really plan on having kids. I thought it was too selfish.
Yeah.
But they came along, and I love them, and I'm glad I had them. They turned out so well, though. I do not know what I did. I was such a bad kid. I thought that they were going to be horrible. Yeah. I thought, how they say you get it back double? Mm-hmm. I didn't get it back at all.
My dad says I'm just like him growing up, like just not, or growing up when I was younger, not thinking things through, just doing the sporadic thing. And my dad kind of got in trouble when younger, but that's different, getting in trouble now.
I didn't know the meaning of the word consequences.
Yeah, like I didn't.
And I thought I was invincible. I wonder that is what that feeling of youth is, that because I've been trying to be like that way the last couple of years. Once I realized that I'm trying to live in the moment. I don't dwell on the past. I really don't worry about the future because why bother? And the past is gone. You can't do nothing. You might as well be happy. So I've been getting pretty good at that. But I wonder if that's the feeling that you have as a kid, like that you can't ever seem to get back once you're not a kid anymore. Yeah. That feeling, like even just with
you have Christmas it right there and you don't realize it, but then you do whatever because you like love that feeling. You're taking advantage of it, but you're never going to realize that's the last feeling. It's like playing your last high school sporting game. Like it's great, but you're not going to play the sport ever again, unless you're in like a YMCA or whatever. But like competitive fun, like real, like just not you, and like you just don't realize, and then it's gone, and then it's just and saying this being a kid, running around doing whatever, riding bikes. Like you said, as a kid, like that doesn't.
I loved riding bikes.
And you'd ride, 7-Eleven. Mom or babysitter gives you a 10, get out of there and go to 7-Eleven and buying all the bums, doing everything, leaving your bikes out there and having to lock them up.
Remember the little brown bags that you get to put candy in?
Yes.
You get $1. I would get $1 and I'd have a whole bag full of candy.
There's no crazy weird guy trying to.
We used to hitchhike.
Well, we
used to hitchhike.
My dad said back in like the 60s or 70s, he hitchhiked from Michigan to Florida. No
wow.
problem. Like what? You can't do that now.
Me and my cousin hitchhiked when we were 5.
Yeah, I've never done it.
We got in a little trouble.
But it's just not even fathomable.
No, you can't. Even as an adult, you have Eileen Wernos to, kill you.
It's just there's too many society and it's been too crazy lately. Too many crazy people. I mean, there's so much to talk about.
It's nuts.
All that.
Well, you want to take a little break?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be right back with you, people. How do I pause it? I'm restarted. Hey, we're back. How was everybody's break? SDP, episode 17, male plus female equals human. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
So, a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about stopping by your bar and saying hi, but I don't drink anymore and I had sweatpants on. So I was like, nah, I'll just skip it. So I think I texted you when I got home and I was like, hey, I almost stopped by, or I texted you the next day or something. I almost stopped by. And you're like, oh, you should have. We've got, I know you don't drink, but we've got Diet Coke and iced tea.
And Jones soda.
And what?
Jones soda.
Oh, fancy soda.
It's like kids crack.
Fancy soda.
And then you asked about our, do we have lemons, limes?
Well, then I asked if you had different sodas. I was being kind of annoying. And I knew it, and I was being annoying on purpose. Did you know that I was being annoying on purpose?
I didn't think you were. You're just asking questions about what we have.
Really?
You knew I was a beer and wine bar, and you told me you don't drink anymore.
I didn't know it was a beer and wine bar. I thought it was full liquor.
Yeah, full liquor.
Well, he was really specific about everything that they had, and I thought I was just being kind of an asshole. And I wasn't asking because I was going to come in and drink it. I was just asking to see how far I could go.
I know, and then I told you we have raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and grapes, and you're like, wow, that's much better. And then you went on with the whole...
No, I think I texted you later.
But you wanted to know, and you're like, that's good to know because those are way better than limes
and lemons and those crappy cherries. Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with how he handled my questioning, and I felt like I was being a Karen, personally. So a couple hours go by, and I think I took a nap or something. And I woke up, and I was like, I just had this great idea. So I called, or I texted him, and I said, there's a group of women that wants to come in. It's their yearly get-together for their group. Courtside Karens is the name of the group, and they're tennis aficionados. And I said, but the caveat is they're all named Karen. And I thought at that point he was going to be like, oh, fuck you. You're full of shit. No, he fell for a hook, line, and sinker. So now this becomes like a prank. And I said, yeah, there's this many of them. And we talked about a date. And then he went and told his bosses about the date and everything. And this thing just kept going. So his boss called me like a week later to set the thing up. And I had to tell her that it was a prank because I didn't want him setting aside that it was Valentine's weekend too. It would have been this Saturday, right? This Saturday. Yeah. Would have been 16th. When the Saturday. And yeah, Scott was all like, oh, yeah, they could book the party from 3 to 7 and that'll go into karaoke. They'll have such a good time. So the owners agreed. She called me, and so I had to tell her. I said, well, I'm sorry, this is a prank. I used to work with them and whatnot. And she laughed so hard, and she goes, well, we could keep it going. I said, let's do it. Because I was kind of going to see if they would. So, but she couldn't keep a straight face, so she ended up telling him that day.
I mean, she came in after talking to you, asked us, like, I asked a couple questions. What was going on? What food they going to order? How many? And she was like, oh, it'll be like 40, 50.
40, 50 Karens.
But yeah, that's why I was like, really? And then Scott was like, really, what time? She goes, I told them 3 to 7, and then they can roll into karaoke, and it'll be packed already. And then I, just asking more about like what, and then she just, the look on her face was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, you're too serious. Like, this is not going to go on. And Scott even started to be like, well, fine, that's going to be, should we have 3 here then? And then roll it in and let one go. And then it was too much. Like, but I didn't take it. I thought it was hilarious because I was like, you son of a bitch.
I got him good. And it went on for like 2 weeks.
I literally grabbed my phone and was about to text you, and she was like, wait, don't text her. Let her, like, she wanted me to, like, play it more, like, and I was like, but I thought it was hilarious, like, because I remember texting you, I'm like, 40 fucking Karens, really?
It was, like, just believable enough to be believable.
And then you said back, you're like, oh, there's, like, 2 or 3 that are hot, and they want, like, you to work, like, that day. And I'm like, oh, all right. Like,
and the funny thing was they were tennis aficionados. They didn't even play tennis. They just watched people play tennis and probably critiqued them. And I even made a flyer on Canva, and I emailed it to him.
Yeah. And I thought they were literally a group of women that play tennis every week and been doing it. It's just like one yearly outing, and they've been to Barrels and Boards before, and
they were all named Karen.
Wanted our,
and that's why they got together initially. But to find all tennis aficionados named Karen, that's pretty good.
It's good, and it was like how the con men do, like the long con. Like, you got me. Like,
that was a long con. There was a long prank.
It was like a good like week or so because I was like, "What's your number?" And it was a week later, so we called you, and it was a baby shower we were doing for 40 or 50 people at that time. So I was like,
so believable.
Like, we've been doing this for weeks. Like, let's do it again. Like, how much food do you want? What do you want? Here's how much it will cost. We'll close it out for the
it would have been terrible if I would have booked the damn thing.
We would have charged a down payment.
I told my mom, she's like, well, what if they sue you for fraud or something? I was like, well, they're not.
We would never do it. Like, they found it absolutely hilarious. Like, and I was like, and I explained how we worked together and its history, and that was like, you got me. Like,
and I did say to the owners, I said, you have a stellar employee, though, I said, because he didn't even bat an eyelash when I told him it was 50 Karens. He's like, well, they could do it from 3 to 7 on Saturday and have it continue into karaoke. They'll have a great time. I'm just sitting here thinking, oh, my God. Yeah. But I told her that he's a great employee and that, they really should value him. So I did give him a plug.
They do, and they're amazing owners, and they take care of us. Took us out.
So we can say a shout out to Barrels and Boards in Groveland, Florida.
Groveland, Florida. If you haven't been there, you got to come.
Barrels and Boards, charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
I love that word. Charcuterie. Shark coochie?
Yeah. That's how other people say, a charcuterie board.
They don't know how to say it.
They don't know, and like charcuterie. I mean,
that's a little fancy for us. We got those.
We got sandwiches, appetizers.
And you got Scott behind the bar.
All the finest craft beer and all the finest wines that you can't find in the store. So, and they're all amazing.
Sounds fabulous.
I've been there 2.5 years, or the place has been there 2.5 years. I've been there too. It's going strong. It seems like we get new customers every day.
That's awesome.
That live around the corner that like, I didn't know this existed.
And people like to snack. I think we're going away from eating giant meals 3 times a day. I don't. I eat like once or twice a day, a little thing. I can't I mean, I just turned 50. If I eat anything, I'm going to gain weight. You have to eat negative food when you're 50 because you have to eat celery all the time.
And our stuff's freshly cut, fresh, healthy.
But people like that. They can come in and they can get a board and it sits there and they can just kind of snack away. And do you get a lot of lurkers like that stay there for a really long time?
Not really. I mean, we don't have people that come in there and just sit there and watch TV all day.
And eat off a board for 8 hours?
No, they don't. Yeah. I mean, they come in there, they'll have a sandwich and a few beers and they'll be there 3 hours, but they have 3 $9 beers that are, higher in alcohol content like IPAs, but then they eat like a sandwich that, is good, like our Italian or turkey, amazing, roast beef, amazing. Buffalo chicken sandwich, amazing.
Sounds good.
And we have nothing fried. It's all
I hate fried food. I do not like fried food. The older I get, I don't like fried food. I don't like processed food. I don't like things that are already made, like in the store. I only like homemade food, and I get fussier and fussier.
Yeah, and we're the same way. Like like sometimes we do a buffalo chicken dip, which is amazing. We make it fresh, and it's basically until it's gone. It usually sells out because we used to have it as a staple, but now we do it as a special occasionally, and people love it. And
that's nice.
Yeah, it's just a fun place to be. It's a good place.
And I love cheese and crackers. I mean, even without going to a charcuterie place, I just keep cheese and crackers in my home. And some days that's all I eat. I just have a couple cheese and crackers like twice. I mean, or throw some pepperoni in there. You got protein. You got dairy. You've got carbs. You've got you're just missing some veggies and fruit
to cheese, and we have a meat to cheese, where it's half fruit and then cheese, and then half meat, half cheese, crackers, and people love it.
It is. It's like all 4 food groups.
Yeah. And it's. They look amazing. I mean, I cook there, bartend, serve. Like we kind of all do everything, so we try to make it our own. We just know how many pieces, how many meats have to go on there. But
you can set it up yourself the way you like it.
Make it pretty.
That's cool.
With all
That'd be fun.
And how it's
you can be creative.
Exactly, and they love it. Like some way, it's not the way the owner made it, but he makes it. He's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it looks good.
That's good.
And people like the presentation. Like, oh,
that's nice. I'm glad you like it there.
Nice thing. Yeah, it's really good. It's been going good, and I really do like it. I care about it. And I know it's going to be better because the owners are great. They've never been owners of a restaurant before they got it, and now they're excelling and
they're pros
in the business. Yeah, but they're learning all the things about it that I've been in for 15 years.
Yeah,
things that happen. And you're just like it's.
But when you care about a place, that it makes a lot of difference. Like, I mean, I cared about Revival when I was there. I mean, we had such a good crew, and we. It was just so good when we it's like you would never capture that moment in time again.
I mean, yeah, and
I cared about it,
it was
for the
family when we worked there. It was like we take care of each other. Someone couldn't work one day, someone could.
We did, and what we never did is we never threw each other under the bus.
And that's key.
We always had our backs, each other's backs, and that's just so rare.
Yeah, and if there was a problem, you would just talk about it face to face.
And we wouldn't bring the owners in or anything involved. It would we'd get it squashed
right then and there.
Exactly.
Even that night, finish that night. What happened? What are we doing?
Exactly.
And then it's over. It's done. Move on.
And it was so much better.
It was. I do miss it.
Because then a couple of places I worked after that, I just didn't like, and then ever since I've retired, and I really dig that.
Can't wait to retire.
So, who is the worst bar guest you've ever encountered?
I mean, I've encountered a lot.
Or the worst type.
I mean,
let's say the type of bar guest.
There's always the stereotype, the guy that snaps at the bar.
Oh, the snapping.
Hey, yo, barkeep, hey, whatever. And I always hated as a bartender being called Scotty because it was people that I know that I like can call me that, but people that don't know me,
I always called you Scotty.
But I hated it. And it just, and to me I was drinking a lot more then, and that was like my drunk alter ego. Like I didn't do it, Scotty did.
Oh.
So I really, I didn't associate with Scotty because that was not me. But
I think minus Bud.
But there was like the guys that would come up. They're all strong. They're all like built. They want to, hey buddy, Barky, yeah. Hey, what do you guys want? And 4 lemon drops, and you're like, really, guys? Like you're not gonna do whiskey or something stronger?
Even a Washington apple is something better than lemon drops.
I mean, we've worked there. I mean, there's been 3 deep at every spot, like every bar spot, and people are yelling, screaming, everything. You're just trying to get everything.
Do you remember them having to make like 8 shots for a group of people when you got 3 deep and the people are yelling and screaming and it's so loud you can't even
yelling, getting your attention. What do you want? Oh well, I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Sit around.
Or do you? Yeah. Can you make something fruity?
Or then he did. We only had like 8 draft beers, and we didn't really do the craft stuff. But what's your beer list? And you start naming off stuff, and
I'll take a Bud.
Yeah, Bud Light. You're like, just come there and be like, I need 4 Bud Lights, 2 Jaeger bombs, 2 whatever, Washington apples.
And most people did for the most part.
Yeah.
Our regular customers were good at it because we get busy in there. That place was like a nightclub.
I mean, it was.
It was.
It was a pool hall, and they turned it into a nightclub to make it. To try because the Club Boa downstairs closed, and we used to be and it was.
We were the only nightclub in the town we live in.
It was, and other people tried to do it, like the graffiti tried to do DJ nights outside and everything. Ever tried to copy it because we were transitioned, and it was really successful. It had lots of good bands there that played. It was trying to think of some of them.
We had good DJs.
Yeah, DJs all the time.
We had Ray Rod and Teo.
Ray Rod and Teo, and even though the owner didn't like karaoke, he got Ray Rod.
Oh, we had a Sunday karaoke night.
Karaoke's were
Me
great.
and Sadie worked that.
Yeah.
Did you work it when you worked there?
Yeah, I did. I worked.
Sadie and I worked every Sunday. It was just me and her, and we would make. I mean, we walk out of there with $3.54.
Yeah, and it was great. It was easy. Everyone was cool.
Great.
It was fun. They sang. There was a stage. Lights.
D. White, who's been on, he was on My One Black Friend episode, I think 3, and then episode 4, My One Black Friend episode 2 or part 2. He used to go to Revival. That's where we met, and he used to always sing karaoke. And he was a really good singer. He was
like just the soul, like that came out of him, like the sound, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, he was like.
And I served him just because working at Buffalo Wild Wings, Graffiti, Revival. There was Downtown Bar and Grill. There was everywhere. That's where I'm at now. There was the Crown. But Dwight was always there, and it was always a good customer, a good person. Yeah, but hearing him sing.
Yeah, he didn't give me any trouble. Him and I became friends after that, too. He's a good guy.
He's an amazing guy.
D. White, we love you. He just called me a couple minutes ago. I'll have to call him back. So what do you think are the major differences between men and women guests when you're bartending?
I mean, women are kind of, they walk in and they, can you make me this drink? This bartender made me downtown Orlando this one night. And you're like, what the fuck?
Sure. I'm going to make it
what
red.
happened? I don't know. He made it. It just tasted good. It was a little bit sour. Like, I don't know.
It was red.
Yeah.
So Scott actually came up with a really good solution to this problem of, please make me something fruity, or, oh, I just don't know, or, oh, what's that drink you had 4 days ago?
Yeah, I don't remember what Todd made you at Club whatever in Orlando that was red and tasted good. But I said, all right, I'll make you something that's red and tastes good. A couple vodkas in there, got a little triple sec sour, a little cranberry grenadine, bam, shake it up.
It was red too. It was red.
Of Sprite, bam. They tasted like, this is
amazing.
Like
Kool-Aid.
What's it called? And I was like, because I'm busy and I don't care. I'm going to bring in 2 vodka drinks. So I gave 2 shots vodka. I was like, I don't know, my dick's in your mouth. And they said, what? I was like, it's called my dick's in your mouth. They're like, your dick's in my mouth? I'm like, sure. And I'm like, all right. And they're like confused as fuck because they don't know. And then later it got popular because other people were drinking it. Like, what is that drink? Can I get a dick in my mouth? Like people got, and then guys started ordering it.
So when I started, that was like a drink. And it was like a real drink there.
Ringing up on a receipt, said dick in your mouth, $8.
Yep.
And you're like,
and that was a steal. $8 was a good price for that drink.
It was. There was 2 shots.
Yep.
And usually our singles were like 6 or 5.35.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good deal. And those chicks would get loaded off those things too.
They'd walk up and,
can I get a dick in my mouth?
And then 4 or 5 would be like, can I get 4 dicks in my mouth? And the guys next to them were like, I'll buy those dicks. And they
I got those dicks.
No, and you have to shake too, and you put them all in, and they take them, and the guy's like, I got a dick in my mouth. And, it was fun, and everybody enjoyed themselves. And it was a good drink that I just kind of made up.
Good job.
I don't know, good job. You hate hearing I could say you're a Tito's crayon with a lime or Tito's soda.
Yeah. I've made up stuff for people too when the girl just wants something fruity and whatever. I just make something up, but I never had it named and put on the register and stuff like you. So that's pretty cool. That's your legacy, Scott. Is a dick in my mouth.
I still get people that post they had a receipt because they take a picture of it and post on Facebook or something, and they send me the picture remember this, and it's from 2015.
That's great.
Here's dick in your mouth.
That's great. When I started there, I'm like, what the fuck is a dick in your mouth?
Yeah. But it was
it's Scotty made it up.
A fun thing, and people were like, what? I'll buy that dick in your
mouth. Well, let me get 10 dicks in your mouth. A bag of dicks. They could bring a bag of dicks in and give it to you, and you'd put it in a drink.
I've been there where they have had parties with confetti balloons that were filled with little dicks.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were bachelorette parties.
Yeah, it must have been.
And then they love to pop them at the end of the night, and they're everywhere.
Little dicks.
And then 5 months later, you're finding little vacuumed every time you get a little fucking penis.
I never got the pleasure.
I know, but you can actually go online and send a bag of dicks to someone. They're like gummy bears. Or like one of those exploding tubes.
Yeah.
They come like with nothing marked. You're like, what's this? And you open it up and it explodes. It's confetti of a bag of dicks.
I should send that to my friend.
I know, I should.
That sounds fun.
There's certain people I should send it to.
Yeah.
But if they listen to it, then they already know it's coming from me.
True. And they're going to think it's a dick in their mouth. So, well, I'm glad you can laugh at yourself, Scott. It's a good trait to
I
have.
laugh at myself every day.
I do too.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh, what would you do? Would you cry?
I mean, you can't take it too seriously.
No.
It's just...
I think if you don't laugh every day, you're sad. You're a sad person. Yeah. I laugh every day.
I mean, stuff happens and you're just like, what are you going to do? Laugh about it? Cry about it? Be mad about it?
I'd rather laugh.
Yeah, I'd rather laugh and move on.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy that moment. So, I heard on the grapevine you got your medical card.
I actually did, and the grapevine, I got the medical card yesterday.
That's awesome.
It was.
He's legit.
It was incredibly easy. Like, I was so, like, I Googled it so many times about how to do it. And through a friend at actually a smoke shop behind Delta 8, he was like, call this person. And it was amazing. All, like, quick and easy. Did a phone consultation with them. Paperwork online. Everything done. And it was literally like a 4-hour process. I got an email from the state. And it was like,
boom.
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
As long as you pay, all they want is the money. As long as you pay your money. And
yeah. That's their main reason for passing it. They get the money, they get the taxes, and they're happy.
And then you go in there today and you're so overwhelmed because it's like all free and they're just throwing all this stuff. You just kind of already got to know.
Did you get really high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got super high. Yeah. Because, I mean, we text for this podcast and you're like, I have to lay it, woke up from a nap. I literally just got up from a nap from being
yeah, we were going to meet at 5:30 and I woke up from a nap at 4:30 and I was like, oh, bro, this is not going to work.
I got home and
he's like, I just woke up from a nap too. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's amazing and it's awesome. And it was, you know what you want and it's so much better than like street weed and everything.
Do you think men and women have differences in their pot smoking?
No, I've met plenty of women that smoke way more pot than I do. And I think I smoke a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't really smoked a lot lately. It's been like over the counter stuff, which is like, no one knows it's going to happen in 10, 20 years. Like, and now you go to a place and you know what you're getting, like pot wise and everything. And they're like, it's medically
necessary.
Yeah. But
I quit smoking pot.
But yeah. And that's great. I mean, I like it just I feel like I can do more. I've just done it for so long. Like, to not be stoned is not normal. Like,
See, I used to be like that. I used to smoke it all the time, and I just got to the point where I just stopped smoking it. It's weird. It's like the alcohol and the cigarettes. I just quit. But I used to smoke all the time. I was a pothead. I'd smoke in the morning. I'd smoke at lunch. I'd smoke when I got home
all the time. At work, after work, place closed.
Even at Revival would smoke. Yeah. We'd smoke during
after work, man. Yeah.
Or have the pens. Anyone who had a pen would be chiefing off those pens all shift.
Yeah,
when I hit your pen, I never had my own.
Yeah, and it's something you need. Like, I put it to Danny, or when I used to work with them, that I would. You want me to go take a shot or go outside and take a hit of the weed? Like, I need this because people annoy you. You're babysitting drunks, and they're just
even our boss man. When I first started working there, I was calling him boss man. He was cool, and when I first started working there, I remember saying, I can't be sober and be in this place at all. And I really adopted that theory because I could never be in there sober and work and do that. Never.
I mean, there was always a 12 o'clock shot because it's 12 o'clock and we've been busting our ass and this boom. And sometimes you need that just to cut the edge, like
you do, and it makes you feel so much better. And you're so much nicer to people. They come up and you smile.
Because then it just goes off easier. Like you don't you're not on edge or anything. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've worked nights that I'm not proud of that you're really drunk. That you take it too far.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And then you work with money and everything. You gotta protect the owner, and it's just more difficult. And then it's you're just not on your A game.
Yeah, I'm not too proud. For some reason, at Revival, I could be hammered and be on my A game.
Because it was always like everybody had each other's back. Like it was easier to.
It was great. It was great,
and it was fun times.
That was a fun place.
I mean, I just think it was way too expensive rent and just not. Like it just.
They were stupid to not come down and lose that. They lost so much money by doing that. The bar didn't go out of business. The the landlord wouldn't come down on the rent, and he charged a stupid exorbitant amount, and the owners just got sick of dealing with it, so they just shut it down. But it didn't shut down. It wasn't because of money or anything. They could have kept it open.
It's still empty.
Yep, still empty. So what are the landlords? What the landlords accomplish with that?
Looked at it before where they found the location. And just the rent was so much that you can't. It's
even the money that Jeff was making. I mean, he was probably breaking it in with all those people, but even making that kind of money, that's such a huge overhead.
Absolutely, overhead, and then cost of paying employees. It's just the payroll and all that.
Crazy. It was a big place.
And then the air conditioner never worked. And
it was hot.
There was some nights. There was a night that they canceled, couldn't work because it was middle of summer. Air conditioner broke and literally 110 degrees in there.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I remember working some nights where it was hot. Yeah. We would just sweat balls.
Sweat. It was crazy. Yeah. So,
do you think there's a difference between a male bartender and a female bartender?
Absolute difference.
Yeah.
I know some people, come in during the day because that's when a female bartender works, and they love to come and see that female bartender. But then, I cover their shift. They walk in oh, it's you. And
yeah.
And they have one beer where the girl's oh, they usually say for 4 or 5. But I don't get offended at that because I go in and male or female. The male, I can talk sports with or what's going on.
Right.
And people do it. I gladly talk sports with them all day. And I've had females talk the same or come in, but it's there's definitely a different feel to it. When a male comes in, it's not a female there. But at night, it doesn't matter because, you got 3 or 4 or whatever.
Right.
You're going to get a male or female, whatever.
That's weird. That is weird.
But it is.
But I've had people come in before and say, oh, it's you.
But as a business, as during the day, you want to staple, you want a good looking person behind the bar. Male or female. It doesn't matter. And if you're a male, you better make sure those other males like you. Because then they're going to buy more. But as a female, you just have to have showing your big tits in there. And,
what if you don't have big tits?
And act funny and just make their drink for them and flirt with them, and they're going to tip you 30% more than they tip me.
Well, Scott, I think we've come to the end of the road here tonight.
We have already?
Yep. I do believe.
Yeah, all right.
It was really nice having you on.
Well, thank you. Hopefully it was cool.
It was very cool. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
It was a fun conversation.
It was easy.
Yeah.
I was really nervous about talking on a mic about just stuff, but
it's so funny because I was thinking that earlier. I'm us podcasters, it's we just want to record conversations with our friends. It's just really just a recorded conversation.
Yeah, and for 2 hours before we recorded this, we could have recorded that.
We had a long conversation before the conversation.
It could have been a separate podcast just about random shit.
Mm-hmm. The random shit podcast.
But it kind of builds it up, and
and then you got the flow going,
and you just talk about stuff.
Yeah,
life.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Podcasting's fun.
Being easy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 92%ers.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
92%ers. Isn't it 98 or 99? I thought it was a 1%ers.
There is 1%ers, but there's 92%ers, which aren't exactly they're just average.
The regular people.
Regular people. We the people.
We the people.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, have a great night. And if you like this episode, please leave a rating and review on our website, societaldeconstruction.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.